This time, we will proceed to the convergence of a bounded sequence using limit superior and limit inferior. We have a theorem for this, but we will not be proving that here. We will have a separate video for the proof. This theorem tells us that a bounded sequence, okay, x sub n, is convergent if the limit superior of your x sub n is equal to the limit inferior of your x sub n. So we're able to establish already a definition for limit superior and limit inferior. At the same time, we're also able to establish the idea of solving them. Okay, illustrating them using examples. This time, we're going to determine whether those examples presented earlier are actually identified as convergent or not. But of course, the criteria here is it's a bounded sequence. So let's have the 4 examples presented in the separate videos. So the first one, let's have here x sub n equal to 1 over n. Of course, we can use this if we could guarantee that this is a bounded sequence. The sequence of this starts from 1, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, and so on and so forth. And we have established this previously that it's actually its supremum, not the limit superior, okay? The supremum, which is the least upper bound of your x sub n, is equal to 1. This is the least upper bound. And then your infimum, not the limit inferior, okay, of your x sub n, which is the greatest lower bound, is 0, as this will approach to 0 as n approaches infinity. Okay? So in short, this is clearly bounded. We have here 0 and 1. And with this, a bounded sequence is convergent if this is true. Now, looking into the previous video discussing the limit superior and limit inferior of this, I will be rewriting them automatically. The limit superior of this x sub n is 0. And the limit inferior of your x sub n is also 0. Since we have established that the limit superior is equal to the limit inferior, again, we have a separate video for this. Please try to review that on your own time, which is also equal to 0. This, according to this theorem, since again we have guaranteed it's bounded and we have this idea, therefore, the sequence x sub n, which is 1 over n, is convergent. Okay? Because of this. Okay? We also have other criteria emphasizing this really convergent, but this is the idea of convergence using the limit superior and limit inferior. Now, the second example we have learned is actually this one here, x sub n. I'm also going to use x sub n, don't worry about that, is negative 1 raised to the power of n, with the elements negative 1, 1, negative 1, 1, negative 1, 1, and so on and so forth. So before we could use the limit superior and limit inferior to determine the convergence, let's identify whether this is bounded or not. The supremum of x sub n, the least upper bound, is equal to 1. And the, what do you call this one, the infimum, which is the greatest lower bound, is negative 1. Since we have established it's bounded below and bounded above, that would mean this is really bounded. And since this is bounded, we can now move into the convergence using supremum and infimum. Okay. In a video illustrating this, I'm going to rewrite this here automatically. The limit superior of this is equal to 1. The limit inferior is equal to negative 1. Since the limit superior, okay, is not equal to the limit inferior, that would mean this sequence, which is negative 1 raised to the power of n, is not convergent, or you could also use here, because there are only 2 of them, convergent and or divergent, so it's divergent. Okay. By the way, it just so happened that the limit superior is equal to the supremum and the limit inferior is equal to the infimum on the idea of boundary, but they are not the same all throughout. Okay, just like this first example. Finally, we still have 2 more examples, by the way. x sub n, we'll have negative 1 raised to the power of n times 1 over n. We have the elements of this, if I may. I don't know if I will get it right. You may correct me if I will get it wrong. If n is 1, so it's negative 1, and n is 2, positive 1 half, negative 1 third, positive 1 fourth, negative 1 fifth, positive 1 sixth, and so on and so forth. Okay? Establishing boundary first, because if this is not bounded, then automatically we cannot use this because the criteria here should be a bounded sequence. Okay, the supremum of this, which is the least upper bound, is actually this value 1/2. Okay, the infimum of this, which is the greatest lower bound, is this value negative 1. Since we have established boundary, that would mean this is bounded. Okay, now it's bounded. Let's proceed to the limit superior of this in a separate video. The limit superior is 0. The limit inferior of the said sequence is also 0. Since the limit superior is equal to the limit inferior of x sub n, then your x sub n, I'm writing it here because I would like to save some space, which is negative 1 raised to the power of n over 1 over n, is convergent according to this theorem here. Now, let's have the last example, the piecewise function that denotes the sequence. You'll have here, sorry for that, it should be a brace, n, if n is a perfect square. This was the last example. And then you will have here this, if otherwise. The elements of this sequence, if I'm correct, was positive 1, positive 1, when it's 1, 2, 3, negative 1, 4, negative 1, 1, negative 1, 1, 9, and so on and so forth. Okay, its supremum, the least upper bound. As you can see, this will increase, so on and so forth. The supremum of this is infinity or positive infinity. With this in mind already, even if you're going to say that the infimum of x sub n is of course negative 1, with this in mind, since the supremum is infinity, this is not bounded automatically. Okay? Since it's not bounded, there's no need for us to identify the limit superior and whether the limit superior is equal to the limit inferior, because the criteria for this theorem is it should be a bounded sequence. Automatically, with this, we can now say, or we cannot say otherwise, whether it's convergent or divergent, but based on this theorem, we cannot guarantee this. You may have different examples or different ideas, but just for the specific theorem of this one, since it's not bounded, we cannot use that here. Okay, so just for the fourth example, since it's unbounded or not bounded, so we cannot move forward using the theorem. Okay, so it's very critical to identify whether the sequence is bounded or not in the first place. Thank you very much for watching.